We are live. We are live. And yes, this is the Lynn and Scott show. However, that's not Scott. Great
Uh,
Scott's not here. So what? Walter Scott is not here today. He uh he was doing what he does very well. He was teaching other people how to do drug intervention program and stuff. So he was training some other people. So he wasn't here. So, but we are here. The show's here. We got the special co-host, Mr. Brian Kelm. We'll be
I
right.
look like him, don't I?
Not.
No.
we'll,
Oh,
we'll we'll be back right after this.
Grab your friends, find your enemies and make amends, and we'll meet in the middle. Take the pride and set it aside. My hands will build you a shield, and we'll solve the riddle. And we'll remember these times, we'll remember these times. Oh, 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 oh. And we'll remember these times, we'll remember these times. Oh, 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 oh.
We love our intro. Hey, Brian, welcome back. Thank you for
hey,
being here. Thank
of
you.
course.
You know, it just suited perfectly to ask you to be here because Friday I was on a roll with the show and we had to end it. And so you and I started talking after the show because like Brian had to go after the show, but we were talking. It was really good. It should have been recorded. It was really, really good conversation. And
I didn't
so
really need to be here on Friday because Lynn took it all, man. She was on fire.
Friday at our show, Real and Raw, we started talking about self-development, and it was April Fool's Day that day, and I felt like you guys don't need to know what books Lynn reads. It doesn't matter. We're all in this world doing our own thing, being our own person, and we really don't need anybody else's opinion.
Right.
But here we all are. We're doing a show, and we just like to say on this show, we used to say, as we see it, but as you see it too. This is about how you see the world, and maybe we'll trigger or bring something up that makes you think and question your belief system so that you always have my opinion, your opinion, and their opinion. So
Correct.
it's hey, we're here. There he is.
My
Oh,
pleasure, Scott.
Scott.
I was just going to mention that it's an honor, and I'm grateful to be in your shoes or be in your chair this week. So thank you. It's an honor.
Well, I think he's driving right now. If I'm correct, he's driving from Orlando down to close to Miami. So
And
thank you,
I
Scott, for
appreciate you,
being
Scott.
here.
I know we don't talk very much, but I appreciate you very much. So
Oh, so yeah, so we just figured we'd pick up this topic. Somebody must not know that I'm online. I'm online. I can't talk. Bye. Come and see me online. They hung up when I said that.
yeah,
So, anyways, it was actually Iman. She'll probably be here. Oh, he said
Iman.
yes. Yeah. Oh, so he is driving from Orlando. So maybe he can he can talk. I think safely on here like that. So thank you so much. But drive safe. But anyhow, we left off with, you know, the it's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. And
Yeah.
do you remember what we were talking about when we said that?
It's I can't remember exactly when you're going to have to excuses and blame and all of that. It's not a matter of if you'll do it, it's a matter of when you'll do it, right?
It's
I
not
believe that was
Scott,
the
Michael.
context.
Oops, I'm sorry. It's not Scott, Michael. It's it's Brian in Scott's shoes.
I'm Scott. Yeah, I look
Hi,
like
Uncle
Scott.
Bob. Hi, Bob. Nice for you to be here.
Hey, Bob.
So yeah, so the thing is that when we realize when we're not in less glorious spot, that we really can change our mind. We either choose to seem and be continuously unhappy spot, or we can realize, the point is you're doing this to yourself. Hate to say
Correct.
it, because
Yep.
our reactions and our feelings, everything's going to happen like weather. Like when you're driving in weather, you're going to have severe hail, snow, whatever. You can either stay and say, oh, hail, and just stay right there and find a safe spot by changing where you're at, or stay there and take it. And so you only got yourself to blame. You got to take responsibility for feeling. Now, mind you, you should feel what you're feeling, because if you don't feel it now, you'll feel it later. But the point is that you can't be in the same feeling all the time and expect everybody to be, well, woe was me, right, Brian?
Well, yeah, and I mean, one of the underlying things about all of this is that if you're unwilling to confront yourself, you're not going to go anywhere, right? You're going to make up more excuses than the day is long, right? And it's like everything about, like Lynn and I were talking before we came on live here, is that when you don't make a choice and life just happens, you made a choice, right? Even if you didn't communicate what that was or be in control of that decision, you're still making a choice. So, kind of like in the dating world, right?
Yeah.
If you send somebody a message and they don't send you a message back, that's still a message, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what gets in the way is the meaning that you attach to it without actually knowing what the backstory is, right? Like, how many times do we have feelings for somebody and we think that we see the person online and we're like, how come that person hasn't got back to me yet? Blah, 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 blah. We're making it about ourselves, right? And we get very focused on our own stuff and then how many times in that same context do we overanalyze it and we find out, oh, that person was busy or they were flying or whatever it might be. We're conjuring up an entire story about something because that's what our brain does versus just letting it sit there and not jump to conclusions.
And I'm learning an NLP right at this moment while we speak. I'm learning the fact that a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this, a lot of us like to mind read. We like to read people's minds. There's a problem with that. You're missing out with getting the clues and being like an investigator, Sherlock Holmes. You're missing the clues of what's going on in that person's life or what you're assuming.
Correct.
And really, what I love now is I'm taking more aspect of forget my mind reading for right now. Let me see what I can collect from the situation to see and understand what's going on in their world. Like body language. I could go like this right now. And you could think I'm mad at Brian. But you might not know that, hey, I might have unsnapped my bra by accident instead.
She might be cold.
I might be cold or I might have got goosed. You don't know.
That shirt that we think she's wearing is actually a towel,
Exactly. And that's the thing. You can either see it from your lens or stop and look at it from their lens after you analyze what you're actually visually seeing.
Correct.
And Rex Sykes is really good. I mean, I love him. I'm learning a lot there. Cynthia, she said, stay in your happy place. Cynthia. Absolutely. We've got to stay. I don't know if she's still in Iceland. I think that's where did you see her pictures? That was amazing. No. And then he meant to say, Brian, I'm just giving Scott pizza because I didn't give him a rose.
Give him a rose.
Yeah. Scott last week he didn't get upset, but he goes, oh, Lynn gets a rose and I get a cowboy head. So he instead gave him a pizza this time. So exactly. No response is a response. And the thing is, it's like we forget until we know everything. Oh, what did he say here? Thanks Michael. Yep. So he gave you a pizza for the road. How's that sound? See, he didn't forget about you. See, Scott, you're not forgotten. You are here. Trust me. You are here, like little things like this.
Just from previous experience.
Do you love a green lawn? Do you love a clean lawn?
Yes, Scott's here.
Just from previous experience, Scott, if you got that pizza and you're driving, just try to do one thing at a time because I've learned from experience they don't work very well if you do them together.
And he usually has some nice shirts, so he might not want to get that messy. So anyways, but no, so I mean, when you can really try to see things a little bit different than we keep seeing, and shoot, when you get in your 50s, you've been playing the old record players like really a long time. I mean, they're so old, they're outdated.
Well, and in life, I mean, Dale Carnegie talked about this, if you invest too much, I'm butchering the quote, but pretty much what it says is that if you take 2 months by trying to get to know other people, you're gonna get to know a lot more people than if you try to get them to know you, right? So if you lean into what you can learn about somebody, no manipulation, no deception, just honesty. right? You just want to connect to people. You're going to go a lot further for authentic reasons than if you're wondering, or if somebody gives you a look, like, oh,
Right.
that person's upset at me because they looked at me this way. Well, it's just a way, but you're interpreting that they're mad at you. And very little of anything that anybody perceives is about them, right?
Yep.
We have absolutely no idea what's going on in that person's mind or what they're dealing with in life. But how many people are going to be held back by that barrier instead of breaking through that barrier and being soft and being calm, but being willing to break down those borders, being willing to break down those walls.
Scott's co-pilot. That means Karen's driving. Scott, if you want to pop in here, feel free. I can even send you a link on Messenger if you like, but I know that the phone isn't a good contact. But just if you want to do that, I'd love to see you, but no biggie if you can't, because it might be loud. I don't know. But anyways, and then I'm back from Iceland. Okay. Easing back to life with a new, fresh Iceland perspective.
That's
cool. My gosh, that is really, really cool. Yeah. You're my first podcast being back. Yay. Thank you for being here with us. They were fabulous pictures. You need to go back to her page and check them out. They were amazing pictures. But seriously, I love the fact that when we can just shift the way we normally handle and observe our relationships and pay attention to people's conversation and say, what do I want to learn from this person that I didn't know before? It's an amazing thing. It's like getting to know them for the first time. Instead, you're still sitting there with somebody, and I could sit here and say, oh, I'm thinking of Brian, how he was a year ago when I first started. And I mean, we've changed up a lot. We've had our discussions, we've had our ins and outs. We've changed our time slot. And when we're doing our show, we even changing shows, and he's sees my other co-host and things like that. But the bottom line is that we keep seeing the lens from a different perspective, both of us. We're not staying put in the same let's talk about the same things. We're talking about it from a different angle as we see it now. And that was the thing about talking about the past. The more you get removed from a situation, the more you see that it has nothing to do with now, except for the experience or the fact that, you don't want to redo what you were doing.
Well, case in point, based on that is, okay, here's a rhetorical question that we already know the answer to. Whenever you rehash an old relationship that ended, does it ever end up any way different?
Yeah. Do you get the girl or the guy at the end?
Any which way, and the brain is going to do that because it's going to try to figure it out. It's going to try to, go through all of that, and it's a process. But at the same time, there is no different result. The result has already been decided. The outcome has already been rendered. That's it. But our brain is going to play tricks on us to think otherwise. And we got to figure it out, because the brain never likes to be open and uncertain. The brain wants to figure stuff out. That's just what it does, right?
Yeah. So again, it's, we do get triggered by things in our memory, in our past, but you got to remember how many times, like, you've been in a conversation with somebody, Brian, and afterwards you're recanting the story or something, and you're like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh shit, there's about 10 things I should have said or should have, would have, could have done. And then you're like, I can't return that. But next time you're like, if I'm ever in a conversation with somebody, I might use this line, or I might say this.
But that's not real. That's not, that's why when you're trying to be creative, you can't be creative, right? Because you're trying too hard. That's why great ideas show up at all types of day. You're in the bathroom, you're sleeping, you're whatever, because when you look for something is not when it shows up commonly, right?
Yeah.
That's why, I don't know. That's why, like, people have writing rooms, and people have to have essential oils going, or they have to have some light music or whatever to get themselves into a space to do that. But our brain is going to hold us back from getting there because of survival, because that's all it wants to do.
See, like my mind is just going, I got to figure out taxes. Maybe I need to put some candles on and all this, do all my write-offs.
then some people are like, okay, Lynn, looks like you're having a party. What are you doing? I'm doing my taxes.
I wasn't real good mileage on my podcasting stuff too, so I'm probably not going to even write off all that. So, I mean, if I ever get audited, they're like, "Damn, we owe you even more money." Because I'm like, "Yeah, you do." If I want to really look at it, but yeah,
Fork
so
it over, government.
yeah. But again, it's where you're at and what you're thinking and what you can do, and it really is a cool thing to say that we can almost take everything and put it. It's just like I wish Christopher Rausch was here with us because it's like, yeah, that's an excuse. That's an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
That's we should give out every year. We should give out awards. Who had the best bullshit excuse of the week?
Well, just
Maybe I should start a show like that. Who had the best bullshit? Who ate your dogs? Who ate you? Or what happened to your homework? I want to hear. Come on, don't tell me the dog ate it. Tell me something else.
The biggest excuse weekly. You know what I mean? Like, come with your excuses, and then like we have a 3-person like panel, right? But it's got to be big. We're talking like, I don't know. I can't think of one right now, but your biggest excuse that wouldn't fly, right? It's got like a big bullseye on it. You know what I mean? It's the biggest pathetic BS meter that you can possibly imagine.
I swear, I think this is starting to, I'm getting creative. Brian, you always bring out the creativity in me.
Well,
I'm thinking I should have okay, this is what BS we got today kind of thing. I mean, maybe having a show like that, people finally realize how ridiculous it is if we don't recognize all we're doing is giving each other excuses.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up because it's like one human component that everybody has is a blind spot. We all have blind spots as human beings, right? Each of us do. It's the part of the brain in our subconscious that we don't know what we don't know, right?
Right.
And so that's why when somebody says, "Oh, you're a little, I don't know, narcissistic or whatever," they're like, "No, I'm not." But they can't see it within themselves that everything that's coming out of their mouth is self-indulgent. You know what I mean? Or whatever that is. Yeah. So we all have it. It's just a matter of when it shows up and where, But that's a great show, though. Like,
yeah, it'd be a great show because I do this to people that always because there's just always me. I wouldn't say it was a people pleaser part of me, but it's I like peace and harmony, and I don't like fights, and I didn't like confrontations and all that stuff. But I really think that my thing would be is when I'd have a problem with somebody, I go, "So Brian, how do you feel when somebody you tell somebody how you feel, or how would they feel if somebody said this to that? How would you react to that?" And they're telling you and everything, and it's like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Well, that's how I feel." And they're like, oh. I would always like to turn it around because they're like, shit, they never seen it from that side.
And it's kind of funny you say that because people have the answers, but it's never flipped on them. And it's like, we're talking about your life. We're not talking about mine. You know what I mean? Like if they're stuck or they have a gap or a barrier going on, it's like they can't see it because they don't know what they don't know about it. Right. But when you can point it out to them or use the forms of questioning to put yourself in that spot, and then they resonate with it, they answer their own question, but it takes those kinds of questions and those people to be bold enough to do that.
I've even gone as far as said, "Yeah, I had this situation with somebody, it really bothers me, and how would you feel about this?" And like blah 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 blah. Like, okay, and then I go, "I gotta go for right now." And then later I'll be like, "Remember that conversation? Yeah. So how'd you feel about that? Yeah. Why am I not talking? Yeah. Hi, Nicole.
Hey,
Thank
Nicole.
you for being here. Brian is filling in for Scott while Scott's being co-pilot with Karen.
I got my Halloween outfit on. I'm Scott.
Yeah. The technology. I'm waiting for you at the end of the show where you just rip it off and you become Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny? Actually.
Why did you have to give my surprise away? Lynn, why'd you have to do that?
I know.
Come on, you theater person. You don't give away the surprise.
I know, right? Dang it. I'll be better. There's no surprise like that right now. Okay.
Well, as we see it, I'm seeing Brian. So apparently it's Brian.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lost the beard. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
this is
Nicole. I appreciate that sentiment. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, Scott. I don't know how what Scott would look. Well, I remember when he looked like younger, but he doesn't look like when he did when he's younger. Actually, yeah. But anyways,
If you want
uh,
to, Nicole, trust me, you don't want to see me with a beard. No. So we'll keep the beard for Scott. That's his jam. That's his thing. You know.
yeah. I can always just go ahead and try to pencil in a
Uh,
beard. So you look
this
like a
show is getting
lumberjack.
worse as this show is getting worse as we try to paint a beard on me. Yeah.
Worse? No way. This show is not the worst. Not at all. Not at
Well,
all.
hey,
No.
actually, it could be through your lens of what Brian should look like.
Yeah, da-da-da. Yeah, you and your red hair. Not.
Yeah. Yeah. We've already established many episodes ago that I don't have red hair.
It's just the way the light hits his hair.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's
I'm
the
not a
not the right.
ginger.
It's not the right light bulbs to enhance his natural color. So you need to get a different color.
I
light
need some
bulb.
cotton candy clouds.
Yeah, you need the right color light bulbs. Maybe you're using too much yellow. The
Yeah.
yellow's giving your head some red hair.
Look at this. It
highlight.
looks like I got a sunburn with these light bulbs. Wow.
Oh my God. Lighting is everything. What can I
Yes,
tell
it
you?
is. Wow. I need to go back to class and learn.
Oh boy, as we see it here. So we got a few people watching. If there's any feedback you'd like to give on this topic, because I think he and I can go a little bit on and on about the fact that if we just realize that we can change our thoughts and change and take responsibility that everything in our inside world is what do we got here? Scott said, how about dreadlocks, Brian?
Wow. This show is going downhill even worse than we anticipated.
Oh, stop. That's you. See, now that's your perception. That's not my perception.
Come on. Dreadlocks, are you kidding me? Really? I can't even get over looking ginger, let alone dreadlocks. Wow.
I think I need to take your image and go ahead and put it in one of those changers, and see what you'd look like.
But I would be up for that in like a barbershop setting or somebody that knew how to do dreadlocks. That'd be kind of fun, but I don't know. My hair's kind of short, so I don't know how much they'd have to work with,
Well,
but
you could go get a wig. You could just get
That's
one of
true.
those wigs and put it on and see how
I
that
mean, if
looks.
it helps our ratings and more people, I'm up for it. You know what I mean? Because
You
I
take
only
one
got
of the
this show. It's not like my normal spot here, so I could get away with it for 1 week.
Take it for the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And then
Oh.
next week, hey, thanks to Brian for playing along and doing our dreadlock experiment.
Well, I'm sorry that you let go of the makeup and stylist before we started the show, because
I know.
if we
I
would have
couldn't pay
thought of
her
that,
anymore. I couldn't
I
pay her
know.
anymore.
If we would have started, you could have started 10 hours ago to be ready for the show.
Apparently, I didn't have green M&Ms in the green room, so she walked. She didn't want to be a part of this anymore.
You're fired.
Yeah. Hey, it's the wrong color. I mean, Mick Jagger likes these colors, and I like this color, and you screwed it up,
Yeah.
so she's gone. Yeah.
Yep, and that's just it. Everybody contract is different. It just didn't write it up right.
Yeah.
Speaking
I didn't.
of
Go ahead.
go ahead. No,
I
go
didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo for
Yeah.
the color of M&Ms.
Yeah. Speaking of contracts, it's funny that we don't realize what kind of contracts we make within ourselves,
Oh yeah.
and
Right.
how that, what stories we keep telling ourselves.
Well,
And we go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
and it's amazing how that traps us to not realize that we have opportunity to be and have what we want.
Right. Well, and the personal accountability that anybody's listening or anybody's going to hold us accountable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if this is something that I don't have people in my life anymore that don't hold me accountable, and it's great because I know what comes out of my mouth. It's like, my definition of integrity: do what you say you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, right? But if you have people in your life, and I notice this with younger generations, is that they're number one, they're indecisive, which I understand. But it's like if you commit to something and you have no interest or any thought that somebody's listening to you and holding you to it, that's not going to bode very well for your success long term, right?
Well, that's the problem is most people either don't make the decision or they use it as an excuse to say, well, this came up, to hop from one thought to the other. And then
Correct.
of course it becomes somebody else's fault, not theirs again.
Right. Well, it's kind of like somebody that, like, you're trying to make plans with somebody. Here's a classic example. When you're ready to make plans with somebody and they're holding out, like, oh, I don't know, or whatever. But then all of a sudden, like, okay, if something comes along that they really want to do, they're on it like that, right? Instead of waiting, or I don't know, or I'm tired, or my foot hurts, or whatever. That doesn't work for people because you're either in or out, in my opinion.
Right.
And I know a lot of people are wired different, but some things are black and white, in my opinion, right? And I think that you're either in integrity or you're out of integrity. You're either honest or not. You're either living with excuses and blame or you're not. I mean, it doesn't have to be very difficult, but us as human beings and how we're wired make it difficult, right?
Yep. And you
Four
know what,
agreements.
Scott? Yeah, I ended the show last week with talking
Yep.
about the 4 agreements.
Yep.
4 agreements is the awesome. And I
Oh.
mean, that is the smallest, most impactful book you could ever read.
Don Miguel Ruiz. Wow.
I mean, it's just amazing how, the dog even thinks so.
Exactly.
But yeah, the 4 agreements, absolutely. And it just takes wanting to be a better person for yourself first, because I always say it's an inside job. And when you do that, everything ripples out and life is better when you realize, and then I see people that are always like worried about what other people's intentions are. But why don't you worry about what your intentions are?
Correct.
Because if you worry more about your intentions, you don't have to worry about anybody else's intentions. I mean, I'm usually, some people think my kindness, I'm ignorant and I fall for it and whatever. It's like, no, I know what's going on, but I'm going to take and I want to deal and live with the integrity of being the best I can be, even if other
Correct.
people are not. So, it's one of those things where you can either, like Rex Sykes would say, you can have either diamonds or dog shit. You can make, you can broadcast good things or bad things. That's why we try to, all my shows, as we see it, we try to talk positive, funny, and know that it's what we personally think. It's not really what anybody else thinks.
Well, and I think that people, society as a whole, people are getting really, really soft, right? People get offended for every little thing. And it's like when somebody, that's why like school, that's why like they give out participation awards instead of, trophies or whatever, right? I mean, this is a longer discussion, but at the same time, it's like, hey, in sales, you win or lose, right? It's not like, oh, well, good for you. Try next time. You'll be better next time. It doesn't work that way in life, right? Too many people get so, they're swayed so easily away from just having a tough skin, and taking matters into their own hands and take ownership for your stuff. Because here's the thing, when you start feeling bad about yourself, it's probably because you're not holding yourself accountable, right? You keep putting things off. You wonder why people are leaving your life. You wonder why you're letting people down. It's because a lot of people would rather avoid conflict than to actually have that conversation.
Yeah.
But the conversation, it's kind of like around Christmas time, where when I was recovering from my car accident, I had a rational thought where like people were trampling over each other's on the national TV to get the doorbuster. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how many of these people would actually, if they have an indifference with a family member, how many of them would actually have a conversation versus spending any amount of money on somebody, throwing them a gift, but still have an unresolved conflict? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is the one that you need to do the most. And if losses are not losses, then we don't get the lessons 100%. Like there was one quote that kind of runs through my mind from time to time about, if I get triggered about previous relationships or whatever, is like, somebody's either in your life for a moment, a season, or a lesson, a season, or forever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you put it at. It doesn't mean you failed. It just meant that it didn't work. So Nicole said, I tried to make sure my son didn't get bullied, and guess what all the trials prepared him for the Marines. Well, he's now a corporal. Got to have mental toughness. Yeah. I mean, if you take, like our mentor Ken Walls talks about, the number one success principle from John Canfield and his co-author is, I mean, that book was written, I don't know how many years ago, and it's like 400 pages. But the number one success principle in there is take ownership for everything in your life. Number one. And there's probably a reason why it is number one.
You know what? And the funny thing is if that doesn't stop you in your track to realize, oh, so now I got to rethink everything I thought. It's a ruh-roh. Because the part is you see, he doesn't watch the show to know that anybody said I love you, Ken Walls. But just remember, okay. 30 minutes in and 54 seconds it was done and said.
Hey Ken, you're on our show. You're on the show.
But seriously, to know that we can change our mind anytime, but realize that everything you looked in the past, it was on you. It was on you, on how you reacted by everything that was outside of you.
Yep.
That you couldn't control. You can't control anybody. This is the other problem a lot of people have. They feel like, well, I wouldn't have punched anybody or slapped anybody if they didn't say something. So it's their fault that I reacted. So you got to take ownership on your part. You didn't have to react like that.
Correct.
So take ownership. And I was just using that as an example. But anyways, I'm just saying.
I remember now that you say that, it took me a long time with one of my exes to get over the fact that that I'm not in charge of her happiness. Right? That took a while to overcome. Some therapy, a whole bunch of time away. I gained my self-respect. I gained my identity back. Is that I can't be responsible for anybody's happiness, right? I can enhance it, but I can't be responsible for it.
And
that
was
a big lesson.
That's the problem. People think happiness comes from who you're with.
Correct.
Happiness, they don't understand what you feel inside. It might be coincidence a certain person's around, but it goes to show you that you could be around that person. You could be blindfolded and not know who that person is. But if your mind thinks you're with that person, you could be sitting there with your enemy. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
Because it's the triggers and the things that you associate with that you make it seem the problem. When their actions is just an action, it doesn't defy who they are. But in your mind, that's who they are forever, ever, ever and more. But yet you change and you expect other people to accept your change.
Right.
Think about that one. Again, it comes back to who you are in the mirror.
Correct. Nicole says, I see every day is practice. Life is one big 100%. Yeah, we're all a work in progress every day.
Yeah.
You know? That's too much pressure.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, seriously, we do make mountains out of molehill. And the fact is that shit was from yesterday.
Yep.
Forget about it. Forget about it. We got today. We got right now. For those that want to stay back there, you're going to have to either wait for them to catch up or just move on. And someday they'll get it. Why will they get it? Because as long as you don't stay with them in that train of thought,
right,
who's eventually going to be around to stay with talking about the high school days when everybody else is talking about the college and grandkid days?
Right. That's why I can only imagine what it'd be like going to a high school reunion where everybody wants to talk about, being class valedictorian 30 years ago. It's like, okay. All right.
And if that's your claim to fame every day,
right, that
record might be a little old.
Either that or they got it on their wall, in a frame.
Yeah. I remember I go to parties sometimes until 4. Can't leave till I can't find the door. Blah 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 blah. I write songs and records. Or I've got an office. I got records on the walls. Yeah. Life's been good all along. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I like that song.
Give yourself grace.
Yep. And that's huge. Because sometimes we give people other people grace, but if
They
you
don't
can't
deserve
even
it.
give yourself grace,
Right.
then how are you able to give anybody else grace? And
Yeah.
when you can really give yourself grace, like I've had to do lately, you're like, it makes it so much easier to give other people grace, because it's like,
100%.
boy, here, Brian, I'm gonna give you grace for this bottle over here, because if only you knew the bottle I just made, that kind of thing.
Well, it goes back to you can't you can't be the best for others, and we've said it over and over and over again. You can't be the best for others until you're the best for yourself. So that fits in perfectly, right? How
Right.
can you give kindness, grace, love, care, all of that if you don't have it yourself?
Right.
Like Dr. Stephen Covey talked about, look at everything like in terms of withdrawals and deposits, like banking, right? Once your reservoir of withdrawals is burned up, kind of like when you're exhausted and you have no sleep and you're irritable and cranky and you're short with everybody. Well, consider that that reservoir is empty of sleep. Investing in yourself with getting good rest. Getting good diet, getting good exercise.
And Nicole says,
Yeah, they look at me and say, "You used to be a hot mess." I'm totally different person. They're like, "You haven't drank in 23 years." Wow.
that's fantastic. I know Scott's
Wow.
watching right now, and he'll just,
Wow. Way to
he's,
go. Cool.
so proud of you, Nicole. So glad for you. That's fantastic. That's fabulous. I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
I know words.
Yeah.
I know I'm no longer participating in.
Yeah. I love that. And I think we realize that sometimes when we're put back into situations that used to be triggers for you, and I'm going to be entering that space here next week, but I look at it this way: you have the opportunity to take the skills that you want to implement and use them, and allow yourself not to have the triggers you have before.
Correct.
So again, it's one of those things where let's see here. Oh, thank you. Actually 24. There you go. Yeah, take every number you can, girl. It's almost 25. That's fabulous. That's awesome. And so, it's amazing to me how so many people have changed their life, from the disease of alcoholism and things like that. And that's a really hard one, because you're either wired to be destined. It's like any other disease, and people aren't aware of that. Some of us, don't have that shut off, and so being awareness of people that can take and change their life and know that changing their life was for the better of everybody around them.
Correct.
I commend them, because they did the work. They had to work hard and take ownership for everything they've done in their life. And I commend that. And that's amazing. And that's inspiring to everyone else that says, well, I can't do that, and I got a problem and all this. Have you ever drank? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? No, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing how we think we have it worse, but there's always people that have it, worse off than we do.
Well, and then to somebody that is looking outside that has never been in that circumstance or situation, they're not entitled to really have an opinion, right?
Right.
They will have an opinion because everybody has one.
Like an asshole, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the people, it's kind of like, I'm no saint. When I was in school, in college, I mean, I did things that I shouldn't have done. But it's like, did I have to take classes over? Did I have to learn new information and, have to deal with all that? Sure, I did. Would I replace it? No, because those are the lessons, right? And it's like, you give me a kid that's that has been micromanaged his whole life, and then he goes to college and witnesses, whoa, what, they're gonna try some stuff, right? But are you gonna rest on that?
And his name was Brian Kelm.
Yes.
Maybe your first book should be How Not to Be When You Go to College. Just saying.
No.
Yes.
No. For more information on what we're talking about, see Debbie and Lynn's show, where I was their guest. Thank you.
Cracking up here.
I got a PhD Alcohol and women, apparently, according to Debbie. So anyhow,
Yeah.
that's a different show.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, as we see it, it's like, man, when you can suspend if you can do the mental exercises to suspend your understanding of people or how they show up to really be a space for them, it's going to be a gift and a power and a skill that's going to serve you well for the rest of your life.
Well, I'm definitely learning to be more. Oh, checked out who's here.
Dial 1-800.
Charles Coachman. Oh, I was going to do something special. Hey, Charles, hold on a second. Okay. I was going to do something here. Hold on. So you keep talking there, Brian.
1-800-hotness. Don't make me blush, Charles.
Okay.
It's good to have you here, brother. I know that with the 9:59 coming to an end and whatnot, it's the daily conversation with Jeffrey is not happening anymore. But I'm glad that we're still connected. And men, and alcohol. Yeah. It happens.
So Coachman, you got a message. Anyways, so anyhow, I'm glad you showed up, Coachman. Yeah, there we go. Look, hi, Charles Coachman.
Or Chokeman.
Yeah, Chokeman. I watched that show. I was like, oh my gosh, I was pretty vulnerable in that show. I'm like, I think I need to edit that for someday for a different viewing. I was like pretty whatever. That show was something. I'm glad we kind of made a comment and it replayed. We've had some really good shows. Like even did you get to watch Larry Snyder's episode?
Yep.
You know, let's take a minute for Larry real quick, man. Was that an awesome show?
Yeah.
I mean, we were blessed actually on that show with Larry. I was going to call him Larry Coachman. Larry Snyder.
That works.
May he rest in peace. You know, there was some tender moments to know what a nice, humble kind of guy he is. Were we super not blessed to have had that show with him?
Yeah, he just everything about him, you just had to smile. You know, he had such a life in him, and I know that you got the honor of meeting him when you're on your book tour, and I never met him, but the guy supported everybody's shows, no matter what time or day. The guy was always one of the first people on there, and I wish I would have got a chance to meet him.
Matter of fact, he is the first guy that said hi. Rock star on the one where I shared my story with Debbie when she was interviewing me, and so I'll forever have that on there and talk about how I appreciated seeing him on there. So that's special to me when I watch that back. But again, we've had some really, we've had Sherry Gideon. We've had some, we've had some really good people in. And look at this.
Mr. Coachman.
Hey guys,
welcome to the show.
Well, I just walked in. My wife and I just got back from a short walk.
Oh, good.
So we are.
And mind you, I'd love to have you back when Scott's driving right now, so he's probably going like, wait a second, Coachman's there and I'm not there. Oh man!
Salute to you, Scott.
But that replay of our show, that was pretty funny.
We had a good time.
Oh my gosh! Wait a second!
There he is.
Oh, you made it home. Welcome home, babe. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, look at her face. It looks like she's got sunburn.
Oh, he knows I love him. If you don't know I love Scott, then
I know.
You know.
What was that name that we said a year ago?
Oh, Mr. Liplock. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's one of the things that doesn't have to come back, people.
No.
I think I remember in previous show notes. Yeah, don't bring that term forward anymore.
Yeah. Some shit's left there, but anyways,
bring it
forward. Scott, you're here.
Yeah, I just walked in the door. Just got done a 4-hour drive, but I wanted to come on and say, Brian, thank you, brother, because great job always. Listen, you led the way for me, so I appreciate it, brother.
My pleasure, man. Always here.
And Charles, my man, what are you doing, brother?
I just said to him, this is going to be sad. The first time on this show, and Scott's not here, and you came in on freaking kill. Like, I didn't even know that.
That is awesome. That
Charles,
is
every once in
awesome.
a while I catch some of your music talk, and man, you are so passionate about your music knowledge. I love it. I love it.
I know we got to
Well,
have him back. You
I
got to
wish-
have him on with you and Gary too.
Absolutely.
I've caught a couple of their episodes, which I absolutely love.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Scott and the
Scott
beard
and the
is back.
beard is back.
Beard is back, baby. It's going nowhere.
Excellent.
It's going nowhere. As a matter of fact, I keep growing this because if I ever start to lose it on top, I'm combing over from my beard up.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm trying to grow some in the back here, but nothing's working.
It doesn't matter. The front looks good.
You just grow the front long and then flip it. That's all you can do.
You know what? That's what I've been doing. I've been flipping my bangs from back here to up here. It works.
Yeah.
Even for girls.
This actually isn't my hair. This is my back hair that I've grown up. It's,
Oh my God.
Well, I should be able to grow my eyebrows up.
Hey Scott, the visual gets worse the more I think about it. So
yeah, don't dwell on that one, Brian. That's no sleep for like a week.
Ooh.
Hey.
No therapy helps with that.
While you guys are here, Scott, take a minute and show your other paintings, please. Oh, wait, Michael
Oh, yeah.
Skinner. Who
Which
needs
one?
Who needs hair?
Oh, my last two paintings. I will go
Yes,
grab
please.
them. Hold on a moment.
Yes, please. Yeah, Scott's been picking up the habit of painting, and his mom's an amazing little painter. She did not know she's in her 80s, and I shouldn't have said that, but anyway, she all of a sudden picked up painting through COVID, and his mom is just an amazing painter.
All
I'm
right.
talking about mom being an amazing painter through COVID.
So,
Check this out.
Wow.
The Duke.
Hold on.
Up to-
I gotta make you
Wow.
full screen a second. Hold
Yeah,
on.
full screen.
Mr. Cogburn, people.
Wow,
That is awesome. Scott,
Gorgeous.
so good, man.
that is
Gorgeous.
amazing.
My other one is that I just finished is
Over.
Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Oh, that is so freaking cool.
So again, I'm doing all of this because I'm working with other people who are in addiction and mental health recovery and who have changed their lives and found art as a therapeutic way to change their lives. So we've started soberlifeart.com, and we will be highlighting people's work, their paintings, their poetry, their music, and selling and raising money and doing all that. So that's all coming like in the next 2 weeks. And we're actually going to have a first gallery showing this summer. So we're good.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Very
I'm
cool.
so proud of you. So proud of you. And where do you get the inspiration on some of these paintings? Like, I mean, it's like, man. Do you listen to music while you're painting?
You know those little voices inside our heads that we try to ignore? I swear, if you start listening to them, they have some really good ideas. You know, running naked through the Piggly Wiggly wasn't one of the good ones, but some of the other ones are good ideas. So just, you know what? Listen to your inner self. Your inner self is screaming to get out, and it wants to get out through conversation, through music, through art, through writing, through dance. There's parts of ourselves that just listen. When we're little kids, we used to be able to stand, just think, with a song in our head and dance for 20 minutes straight, and it was like our whole world. We lost that as adults. We could tap back into that. You get to find a piece of yourself that you've lost, and that's what I've been doing with my life: is looking inside, finding those pieces that I lost because of my addictions and my other issues. And now I'm just living the dream. And the dream is I'm Scott. No apologies, nothing else. I make weird art, I play crazy music, and I love everybody. So that's just how it's gotta be.
And now you see why I love him. That's
I've
why
been looking
I love
for those
him.
paint by number prints, man. I can't find them anywhere.
Oh my.
I love it. Oh
I
my
love it.
god.
Wow.
To come up and your first few paintings, and what are you at now? 10?
I think I'm at number 9 or 10. Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
They're marvelous, man. And you've hit some of
Bye,
the
Michael.
artists that I absolutely love. So that's just so cool, man. To be able
Well,
to come up and do it.
I appreciate that. It's just, you know what? Everybody's got something inside of them.
Yeah.
And there's people out there. Listen, if Bob Dylan didn't just love what he did, he would have stopped singing the first person who said you can't sing, because he couldn't. He's a storyteller. He's an expresser. He's not a great singer, but he's an expresser. Stop listening to all the can'ts and start listening to the I will and I want to try it. You never know what's going to happen. You never know.
So there's hope for me in my singing career yet, without sounding so much like Edith Bunker. But that's for another story.
Hey,
yeah, I got that.
if you had to be a great voice, Snoop Dogg would be broke. All right, so it doesn't matter.
You know, can I just say this? Just the fact that Scott hasn't been playing the old records in his head. Instead, he's using different parts of him. No, I don't mean it that way, but he's using the ability to paint.
Oh,
Let's all lean in on that one.
wow.
Wait, the ability to
You
paint.
are a
He's doing
talented
something-
man.
It's done with my butt cheeks, Dave.
That's where I
Yes.
remember. Okay,
That's why I
that,
like the backstory.
we got it now. All right.
But no, seriously, what
Oh
I'm
my.
trying to say, it's Scott, help me out here, babe. But what I'm trying to say is that you're, instead of just telling yourself, oh, the stories from years on end and not doing anything, you've taken another way of being creative and being outside of your normal, your normal triggers and your normal, your regular stuff that you were conditioned with. You were able to find some other things to recondition and be more productive going forward than to being stuck in where you were. So what I'm saying is, look what happens when you do that. Did you even have any idea that you could ever do something like this? Seriously,
No.
about a year ago.
No, I didn't know. 6 months ago. that
There
I
you
could-
go.
I found it. But let me tell you something. The reason I can do it is because of the stories that I have. It's because of who I am. And what I
love
learned
this.
is I can't change my story, but I did realize I'm the author of every ending. So why,
Wow.
instead of going back and trying to change the story, just make the ending that I need in my life. And what happens is I have closure, I have finality, and I have no more triggers, because triggers are only things that we left undone.
Yep. I love that. And look at what Nicole said here.
What did she say? He's actually tapping into the real Scott.
Yep.
He's living in a box with no walls. That's right. And I need to live in a box with no walls because I suck as a mime. I'm sorry.
No, I love it.
I've been in
I
a
love
car for 4 hours. I'm freaking out.
Or in a box with padded walls. Come on now.
I've had both, and the jackets are very fitting. They're nice.
Those bubble suits are pretty fun, I guess. I've heard.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Right home with non-toxic Crayola crayons. They're very careful with you.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
you
my.
guys.
Wow.
Well, guys, we're gonna probably wrap this up here soon.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I crashed your party.
Oh,
No,
hello?
it's your show.
Hello, it's our show, and you showed
I think
up.
this is the way the show should be, with multiple people all the time.
Absolutely, that's what we want. Because
Yep.
it's as we see it as a whole, as we
Yeah.
all different see it. We're a fabric of each other's lives. We all have something to collaborate and give to one another, and that's just love, respect, and just being. And I didn't need walls. It's restricted to us. Yes. So again, I'm just grateful. I had asked Charles if he wanted to pop in, and he showed up, and I was like, hey, he popped in, and I'm serious. I was just thinking of you, Scott. I don't even know if you heard that, but I had said, Scott's going to be upset that he's not here the first time you're on the show, and you showed up. Like, I couldn't have asked. That was fabulous. I mean,
Great
thank
timing.
you so
I mean,
It
I
was.
might have heard your inner voice somewhere, but honestly, the
know.
only thing I heard when I got home was I really got to pee. So I ran into the house, and after I did that, I in the show. So if that was you didn't hear that.
Oh, so listen, we still got people on, and she goes, Lynn, bend the rules, go a little
Go
longer.
longer.
Oh my gosh. Well, after
Well,
a while, I
Scott's still
got
got to wash his hands.
yeah.
Bada, 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 bing.
Well, it's a good thing we're all in different places. You know what? Hey, wait a second. I just realized something. This is freaking cool. I kid you not. Scott, what time is it? Your time. Come on.
8:25.
Brian, what time is it at your house?
7:25.
It's 6:25 here. And
5:25.
Charles,
Wow.
we have every time zone right here, right now.
And I'm the only one up past his bedtime.
Well, I feel like I'm past mine.
Yeah, Scott's in Eastern, Brian's in Central, I'm in Mountain, and Charles is in Pacific. We have all the time zones right here.
Wow.
Amen.
How
That's
freaking cool. That is very cool that I thought of that.
We should do this on New Year's.
We should.
No,
We should.
seriously.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'd have a party. This is really awesome. So
We'll find somebody from Nova Scotia, and then they'll throw us all off. Yeah.
We got our buddy from hell.
yeah, we got our friend
yeah.
from Hell. Hell
Joaquin.
Norway.
Yeah.
Norway, right? He's from
Yep.
Hell.
Yep.
It's
Hell,
called
Norway.
Hell in Norway.
Yep.
Really?
That's
That's the name of a place?
That's
Hell.
the town. That's the
That's
town.
a
he
town.
lives in.
Hell. He lives
Oh
in
my
Hell.
God, they must be so crowded. I've told so many people to go there.
Well, then I need to have him on the show so that you can apologize for him or to him.
Be like, how's life over in hell? It's kind of crowded, I hear.
Yeah. All Scott's friends are here.
Do you know a Scott Jones?
Is it pretty warm over there?
Oh my goodness.
We've
Oh,
been fibbed to.
you've been fibbed to because Hell is really nice. It's beautiful.
Isn't that what he calls it? A beautiful,
beautiful place.
or-
Yes, calls it a beautiful place. So, you know,
is awesome.
again, that's the thing. We label things and we don't realize that, you know, we shouldn't put ourselves labels. We shouldn't put ourselves in boxes or labels. We should realize that that doesn't define who you are. You know, you're more than a father. You're more than a mother. You're more than a brother or sister. You're who you are. With, you know, shoot, can you imagine if you had to, hi, I'm Lynn, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a this, I'm a this, I'm a this. I mean, shit, you never have anything else to say. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? You know, we attach ourselves to so many different things, and that stints our growth from just being what God wants us to be. And God wants us to be good human beings, having a good human experience, and to be good to everybody. So, I mean, it's nice to have everybody here from a different time zone.
Amen.
So,
Hey, I just wanted to mention, you guys have a great show.
thank you.
One of the things that I see is a lot of people and their lives changing. Take a look at Scott's, the way his life has changed. Life can change in a matter of minutes. So just realize that. I drove up to Oregon 3 weeks ago today. When I got there, by the time I was at the Oregon border, my wife had a stroke. And our lives have forever changed. It is do the things that you need to do. Be joyful about it. Don't put up with any of the bull crap. Do the things that are important to you. And that's it. Just do what's important. Life changes.
And Charles, I'm just thank you for being here. I knew you said, you know, your number one priority is your wife right now, and I had no idea, but that's why you're being here with us means a lot to us. And I know that your time is, you know, if you got to skip out, I understand too, but thank you so much. I hope she's doing better.
We're doing much better.
Thoughts and prayers.
We have got a long way to go. There's a lot of things that happen to you that you just don't realize. And we gotta fight through it and see where we land. And no matter where we land, we're going to keep going forward. We're going to push through this.
Charles, God bless you, brother, because I'm hearing, you know, every word in your mouth is we are doing this.
Yeah.
We are going to make this. You're not saying that it's one person, because you made a partnership. You made a covenant with this person that you share everything. And to hear somebody say that dedication, that means the world. It's a way to wear your love on your sleeve, brother, and keep doing it. And
40 years worth.
She's blessed to have you with her.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to have her with me. I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
So,
Guys, you guys have a wonderful night. God bless you.
thank you.
Good
God bless
talking with each of
you. Okay. Thank you for being here.
Mahalo,
Bye.
brother.
So Pacific is out.
We've lost the time zone.
The time zone. And
lost
Brian
the-
is in the middle of us.
Sorry, it's lunchtime in California. We've lost them. All right.
And then my alarm goes off. Oh, anyways. So, no, this has been great. This has been fantastic. I want to thank everybody that have stopped by and spent some time with us. Brian, thank you again for being a
pleasure.
good co-host and being here with us. And would love to have you back on the show with us too.
Let's do it. Just
Hey,
let me know
this
when.
is anytime you want, brother. I like the chemistry here with the three of us.
Yes.
We actually, the first time you guys had me on, we had fun with that, and I think this is a good natural connection with the three of us. So
Absolutely.
that'd be awesome, brother.
Yeah,
right.
whenever, just let me know. I'm here for you guys, and I want to be a part of it. So
Thank you.
All
Everybody
right.
enjoyed the show. So stay right there, and let's just wrap it up by saying goodbye. Thank you, and Scott, thank you so much for going pee first, because you're not standing there going like this, and then showing up. Yeah. So.
I got sanitizer. You want me to send you some?
No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I wasn't in such a hurry that I had a problem. I mean,
Oh
we're
my
all
God.
good.
All right, you guys, hold on. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.